is Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. This is the tale of a boy stripped of his innocent days, a boy left alone with nothing but a sense of failure and rage. Hailing from the historical anime and manga series Vinland Saga, we have the main protagonist, Thorfinn, son to Thors Snorresson and Helga. Born in Iceland, Thorfinn grew up in a happy family, knowing not his father's past. He seemed quite fond of this laid-back life. Thorfinn used to play with children in the village and would often take part in mock battles with a wooden sword and shield. However, his joyous and innocent days would soon come to an end following a most tragic incident. One day, a battleship arrived at the shores of Iceland carrying Jomsvikings, who had finally tracked down Thor's location after he had gone into hiding. The commander of the ship, Loki, greeted Thor and asked for his aid in an ongoing battle, to which Thor agreed. In the meantime, Thorfinn hid himself in a barrel on his father's ship. As they left the shores of Iceland, the plot became apparent as a mercenary called Askeladd, who was hired by Loki to assassinate Thor, showed himself to duel him. The intense duel which followed was won by Thor, who even ended up destroying half of Askeladd's crew. However, in exchange for Thorfinn's life, the mighty warrior surrendered himself and died at the hands of the mercenaries. Witnessing his father's death in front of his eyes, a range of emotions welled up inside young Thorfinn, who vowed to seek vengeance for his father.
Thorsのガキだ。船底に隠れていやがったな。
見ろよ、一丁前に探検なんか持ってるぜ。殺される。
よくも父上を殺したな。お前も殺してやる。絶対に殺してやる。
For what became his life ambition, he followed and joined the mercenaries and swore to kill Askeladd in a duel fair and square, unlike the underhand tactics the lowly pirates used to kill his father. After joining Askeladd and his crew, Thorfinn spent the next 11 years of his life taking part in the criminal acts of the gang and went alongside them to take part in a war raging in England. During his seemingly endless journey, Thorfinn became a very strong and skilled warrior, killing a huge number of people just to get a chance to duel with Askeladd. In order to kill him, Thorfinn threw away his humanity and became numb to all the horrible acts he committed and witnessed every day. He became cold and distant to others and never as much as passed a smile. He would tell himself that all warriors are madmen every time he went to battle, but things started to change once again after his first encounter with Thorkel. He goes on a mission to escort Prince Canute to Askeladd after he had been taken prisoner by Thorkel. For this, he burnt a whole forest, which was part of Askeladd's plan to take Canute back to the king in order to get a favor.
なんだこのチビ。
However, the gang soon realized that they were no match for Thorkel and his forces, who were chasing them relentlessly, and decided to revolt against Askeladd. Soon, Thorkel was able to catch up. Scared, the band decided to kill Askeladd, but instead, the whole band itself got slaughtered by Askeladd and Thorkel. The former then became a retainer to Canute, and so Thorfinn joined the prince's personal guard in order to stay close to Askeladd. The party journeyed to their destination. There, King Sweyn announced an invasion of Wales, but remained not to see the next day, for he was murdered by Askeladd after he badmouthed his ancestors. With the commotion that followed, Canute went on to stab Askeladd, which was part of his plan all along. After listening to all the noise, Thorfinn rushed to the site, only to see Askeladd getting stabbed, who then died in his hands. Shocked and dumbfounded by this revelation, Thorfinn slashes Canute in retaliation on instinct, but barely manages to cut his cheek. Due to this action, he gets captured and sold as a slave. Hence, a new chapter begun in Thorfinn's tale. At the start of the series, Thorfinn is shown as an innocent and friendly boy who feels great joy in spending time with his family and greatly looks up to his father. This was highlighted when he sneaked onto his boat, which would later become the foundation of Thorfinn's relentless drive to avenge his father. However, as he spends time with Askeladd's band, he starts to grow into a cold-blooded individual, with the only purpose of avenging his father. He becomes detached to everyone and everything, choosing to keep only to himself. This is visible from the fact that Thorfinn would ignore the invitations from his fellow Vikings to join them in the fun after their plunderings. His temper and impulsive nature led to his misery throughout the series, as he would often ignore Askeladd's inputs despite realizing the benefits. Despite possessing talent beyond the norm for his age, his recklessness and hot-headedness led him to make mistakes. Thorfinn would often hallucinate about his late father, who would ask him if this is really the right path, but he ignored them all. This further signified the difference between the old and new Thorfinn. Alongside that, he showed a great lack of empathy, as he would often not react to the killings and atrocities that Askeladd and his band committed and would just walk away in disgust. Although on certain occasions he would tell his possible victims to flee, he mostly never cared what happened to others as long as he got a step closer to battling Askeladd. However, Askeladd's death made him suddenly lose his purpose in life, and he became an empty shell after being sold as a slave. During that time, Thorfinn became extremely depressed and lost the will to live altogether. He then explored his new life, being mistreated by his merchants, with none of the buoyance of his childhood, no pride of his adolescence, and even lost the will to stand for himself. Fortunately, things started to change following his encounter with a fellow slave, Einar, and Thorfinn began to regain his will and courage. Thanks to Einar, Snake, and Sverkel, he realized it wasn't too late to lead a meaningful life. He began to recover and then took on a more kind and pacifistic attitude, similar to what his father upheld. This would help him enter his new life as a merchant. There, he would go on to make great friends with his fellow slaves, to become a better person and perhaps repent for his sins. If you wish to watch the later events of Thorfinn's journey, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell to be notified of any latest updates.